Planes are going to be packed. Patience will be tried. Some level of aggravation is all but inevitable. Throw in a seat kicker, a tipsy stranger, and someone who's blissfully barefoot in November, and the Thanksgiving Odyssey becomes a little more challenging. And this year is poised to be a record-setter for air travel. The Transportation Security Administration expects to screen more people on the Sunday after the holiday, November 26, than any day in its more than 20-year history, and some airlines are expecting their busiest Thanksgiving travel season ever. It'll all go more smoothly if every passenger brings some common courtesy along for the ride, so CNN Travel spoke with experts about the best approaches to airplane etiquette. The missing ingredient, in many cases, is self-awareness. People tend to get wrapped up in their own journey and forget that there's a whole plane load of other passengers. It's always kind of mind-blowing to see that, because it's my bag, and my overhead bin, and my seat, and my flight, my connection, and, my drink, and it's very me when it comes to just how people behave on an airplane. And it's like, there's hundreds of you, said Rich Henderson, who's been a flight attendant for a decade. You've got to be aware of your surroundings, you've got to be respectful of the people around you. It starts with hello, be polite to the flight crew greeting you. It goes a long way when you're pleasant to the first person you see on the plane, said Diane Gottsman, an etiquette expert and owner of the Protocol School of Texas. Andrew Henderson, a flight attendant with 20 years of experience, seconds that notion. A simple hello or thank you or acknowledgement of our existence is polite. I think that's some of the etiquette that's being lost these days with all the noise-canceling headphones and devices we're on. We're all so busy that we forget that humans exist in the world, said Andrew Henderson. He is married to Rich Henderson, and together, they run the website and social media accounts Two Guys on a Plane, where the SaaS is complimentary. About those headphones, earbuds and noise-canceling headphones are a double-edged sword, great for blocking out the world when it's intrusive, but not so great for paying attention when it matters. We're there primarily for safety reasons as flight attendants, and we often joke, but it's not really a joke, that if there was an emergency situation, half the people would still be on the plane because they have noise-canceling headphones on and they're in their phones, and they're not paying attention to what's going on around them, said Rich Henderson. And it's kind of scary to think about. Passengers lost in their own world also tend to miss things like beverage service, and then get annoyed that they're skipped. If you see a cart, a flight attendant approaching your row, take your headphones off, look up, acknowledge that they're there so that we don't have to have challenging situations in the future, said Andrew Henderson. But noise-canceling devices, which Gottsman called the universal sign of I don't want to be bothered, obviously come in handy. Neighbor talking your ear off? Put on headphones. I feel like we really need to give grace to traveling parents because we all know it's not the baby's fault, and it puts the parent in such an uncomfortable situation to see people rolling their eyes, said Gottsman. They don't want the baby to cry any more than we do. But kids gone wild scenarios are another story. Inattentive parents frequently make lists of the most annoying behaviors on planes. The flip side of that is parents, much like in any public space, should be expected to keep an eye on their children, Gottsman said. If they're at a restaurant, if they're in a grocery store, certainly when they're in an airplane, for the safety of the child, for the comfort of fellow passengers. Be attentive to them kicking the seat in front of them. Seat kicking is a frequent passenger complaint, along with armrest hogging and a laundry list of other grievances. I think that we all just have to be a little kinder to each other. If someone's kicking your seat, you have to be an adult and turn around and speak to the person, said Andrew Henderson. These situations require communication to head off frustration before it happens. So, if I know I'm a passenger that wants to have the window shade closed the whole flight, I'll turn to my neighbor and say, "Does anyone want the window shade open?" "It's my preference to have it closed," he said. And if someone else would like it open, there's room for negotiation. Maybe they like having it open to see out during takeoff and landing, but otherwise are fine having it closed.